What's going on, crypto cousins? It's your Bitcoin baby daddy here with another episode. If you're new here, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because I make these videos every other day or when I feel like it. You know how it goes. So today we actually have Shauna Walton, also known as Bitcoin Bombshell. Yes, because you got it. But look at already. But Bitcoin Bombshell. But she is a crypto onboarding coach. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure we get, strong black women on the channel. I've got a couple of black women on the channel, so I wanted to make sure I continue that running, because you're not really gonna find that anywhere else. And because I'm a black crypto channel, so of course you're gonna see all the black people. Like, stop playing with me. But thank you, Shauna. I'm gonna say Shauna. I had an ex-girlfriend named Shauna, so that was gonna be easy to say. That's why I know about what we were talking about before. That's how.
Okay. What's in my cup? That's how you know about what's in my cup.
Yes.
Okay.
But Shauna, let's get started with how you got into the space specifically. You don't have to say when, but everybody got their story. I knew about it in 2012 but didn't touch it.
Right.
So how did you get into the space, and what attracted you to this?
Okay, so I will tell you when I got into the space specifically, because it's important. I didn't hesitate. The guy I was seeing, I'm a restaurant manager. Like, I'm in the hospitality industry. So I had just got a promotion. I started a new position as a general manager. He was like, you got this raise, you got some expendable income. I think this thing is about to blow up. You should look into it. And so I trusted him. I took a little bit of money, opened a Coinbase account, as we all start with Coinbase pretty much. Bought a little bit of Bitcoin. I don't know if I bought a whole Ethereum at that point, but I bought a couple of Litecoins. So that's what was on Coinbase, and that's what I bought. So I bought a little bit of each of those, and then it doubled in a very short amount of time. And then I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. And then maybe a couple weeks after that, it doubled again. And I was like, okay, I need to understand what this is, how it works, and how is this happening? Is this legal? What is going on?
What's this voodoo money?
Exactly. So I started, doing my research, and I started to go. I live in New York, so there are tons of events that are going on, and I went to a bunch of them, and I was always the only Black woman. Period. Sometimes there would be a Black man, maybe one or two sprinkled here and there. In those type of spaces, the Black men tend to don't gravitate to the Black women, because it's then it looks like, oh, y'all a gang or something. So I was literally by myself. So I was like, you know what? There's nobody that looks like me that's doing this. So I said, let me be that person. So I started my Instagram page on October 31st, which is Bitcoin's birthday.
Yes.
And so I've been doing that. That started in October of 2017. I started the Instagram page. And since then, it took off hugely. In the beginning, I was on CNBC and Woman of Crypto, MTV Canada named me some top woman in crypto. It was crazy. And so
within 3 months, Jesus.
Yeah, no, it was really crazy. That first, the end of that year, I had my first speaking engagement rather. There was a woman that I met, and she had a crypto co-working space. So founders would come and pitch their ICOs, because that was ICO heyday.
It's ICO season.
Going crazy. Right, exactly. So they were going crazy. So I went, and she said they were doing a breakfast for women, and she was like, I want you to come and speak. So I said, okay, let me come this week. I'm gonna come the first week and just see what it looks like. So I came the first week, and it was 10 people. I was like, oh, okay, put me down for the next one. I'll do that. It's nothing. It's 10 people. So then the next week I come, and I'm walking from the subway, and I'm looking, and I see women walking towards the building that I'm going to, and then a lot of people, and I'm like, are they going where I'm going? So
I hope they're not going where I'm going.
Literally packed out. I'm gonna do a throwback Thursday of my first speaking engagement. I walked in, it was like 80 women. They were pulling chairs from other places, and it was
geez.
like
Oh, yeah,
I couldn't. There was not even room between me and like where the audience started. They were like right there, and I met and got a lot of great connections from that initial engagement, and yeah, it was just like off and running. After that, I met Tanya Rapley from My Fat Finance. I did a master class with her on cryptocurrency because her best friend happened to be in the audience of that first speaking engagement. And then in 2019, I was a victim of a SIM card port attack.
Oh no!
So
they got you.
They got me. And so what it did for me personally was teach me how to keep my stuff more secure so it'll never happen again. Luckily, because nobody has all their crypto in one location, or you shouldn't if you're smart, they didn't get me for that much. I say it was like worth it because I learned a lot, but it kind of made me pull back because I was like, why, if I wasn't out here trying to, you know, spread the crypto gospel, then nobody would have even thought that I had any, and I wouldn't have became a target. So it kind of made me like not want to be as vocal or promoting it. And then I found like a second win, so to speak. And then it happened to coincide with like what's going on now. Now, like, you know, everything's picking up, phones ringing off the hook. Everybody wants to know how they can get involved. Let's do this, let's do that. You know, you call, you know, it's starting to, you know, it's starting to pick up again.
The hype, the interest, yeah.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah,
when
price
when
goes
Bitcoin
up.
is $9,000 or $4,000 and everybody should be hoarding it. Nobody's thinking about it. And they're thinking like, oh, see, I told you it wasn't going to be nothing. Now that it's $23,000, people are like, well, how can I get it? Let me get some. What do I have to do? Can I buy it from you?
Like, bitch, why you even tell me about this?
Exactly.
I'm like, what do you mean?
I've been telling you.
I have a whole channel. I talk about
right.
every day.
Right. Exactly. So, you know, they're gonna learn the hard way. That's human nature. But you know, I got a reinvigorated interest in it, and you know, I'm just taking advantage of the opportunities that are presenting themselves. And my mission was always to promote it to Black women specifically because we're more conservative than men. We don't like to take risks when it comes to our finances. And so I just wanted to show people that like, I'm not a finance person. I was a novice. I took it on myself, and then I saw how easy it was to make money. And I was like, why wouldn't I tell other people? You know, I didn't want to keep that information to myself. So here I am.
All right. I'm glad I took these notes because you hit a couple of topics that I wanted to talk about. Well, the first thing, but thank you for all that. You did that. Yes. One thing that you said was a friend of a friend connected you to another friend of a friend. To this day, word of mouth is still the best way of promotion because if a friend tells you, oh, you should check this person out, you trust the friend. But if you see them on the internet and you see a page, how can you really trust them? So that's just something that popped in my head. First thing you said was you did your own research. I don't think people really understand the magnitude of when we say do your own research. Please, look up multiple websites, look up this, look up go down into some forums if you know what a forum is, unless you are on social media 24/7, but know what a forum is and really read and watch YouTube videos on what is instead of what's going on right now, because a lot of people don't do that and they get put in situations where they're
they get
sick.
taken advantage of. I mean, people have basically made put their whole my DMs are filled with people that are like, oh, this person told me they were gonna buy Bitcoin and then give it if I send them this amount of Bitcoin, then they'll send me this amount back, and I'm like, are you dumb? Why would you?
No, but people don't understand because they don't understand. They're using something that they completely don't understand, and so oh, this must be one of the ways it works. Wow, no wonder people are making so much money so quickly. Right. And they don't get that.
They don't think. But then the other thing, so it was this one woman in particular was hilarious. So she's like, I said, never trust anybody off the internet that tells you something. Don't send money over the internet because you'll never know if, they can disappear with it. I give her this whole spiel. And then she goes, "You sound really trustworthy. Can you do it?" I'm like, what did I do?
Oh,
Like, yeah, send me $1,000, dummy.
Just
But
send
no,
it to
of
me.
course not. Like, come on, you gotta use your head. If something seems too good to be true, it probably is. Like, don't fall for the nonsense. And people are just looking for, it's already easy enough. Like, you can already just go on Cash App and buy some, and then wait for the price to increase and make money. Like, how much easier do you want it to be?
Well, you know how it is nowadays. We've been so spoiled with instant gratification. We want things now, like now. And I'm not gonna lie, getting onboarding someone into crypto, showing them this, and that, and doing this, that's a lot. Like, and so they can't really get. I mean, granted, it's so much easier now where you can just go on Cash App, press a button, and buy some. But then you have the whole other back page. All right, so now the setting here in Cash App is your actual Bitcoin wallet, and you can actually take it out of Cash App and send it somewhere else into your own wallet. What? So this is not like stocks.
Right.
No, this is completely different. But you also hit another topic that I wanted to talk about. So you said you're in New York. That must be really difficult for you when it comes to crypto.
What do you mean? When it comes to crypto? Oh yeah, the regulations here are insane. So, but as someone who just holds it, it's not really an issue because as long as if I'm not selling it, it's not even a taxable event. So it's like, I'll just hold it. You know what I mean? It hasn't gotten to the point where it's like I'm ready to cash out anyway. So I'm not, I'm not trying to do too much where it's going to cause me like an issue. If I was starting a business where that was like what I was doing, yeah, exactly.
Wash that.
This is not the place to do it. Unless you're a Winklevoss, which unfortunately
unless you're part of the boys club, that's what I like to call it.
Right.
Unless you're part of the boys club, but yeah, because
the billionaire boys club.
Yeah, the billionaire boys club. If you're not part of the boys club, you can't do that. But I just find it so strange how they are purposely, I guess, pushing businesses out, and you have places like Wyoming where Caitlin Long has been doing so much positive things for the space. So how have you been able to reach out with female regulators? Have you been able to connect those kind of make those kind of connections?
No, I really haven't, because like I said, I fell back a lot, so I'm just kind of getting my footing back now and trying to figure out what move is going to be my next move. There's a lot of things that I have in the works. I haven't decided which road I'm gonna take it, but when I do, I will make sure to call upon, I didn't start it, but I've been using the Black Women in Crypto hashtag, and I've been searching it just to find other women like myself that are there. So it's funny because there's a Women in Crypto hashtag, and that has tons of followers, and then the Black Women in Crypto hashtag has 100 posts. And so, and
it's
20
just what
of
it
them
is.
are from me. So it's it's going to be slow going, but we'll get there eventually, hopefully. You just got to change your mindset and realize that you have nothing to lose. We already out here losing. You know what I mean? A stimulus for $600. Come on.
You know where mine going.
This is a joke. Right?
You know where mine going.
Right.
I don't need this. But there's another thing that you talked about. The risk that we take. A lot of people don't understand the risk that I'm taking and that you take, because I make content on this stuff. I make videos on this stuff. I'm literally opening up myself to people coming after me. And when I say people, I mean hackers. It doesn't matter how much crypto you have, even if it's a little bit, if it's a lot, these hackers understand the value of cryptocurrency. And they understand that a lot of people don't have layers of security for most things. When I started getting into crypto, I couldn't keep any of it on my, I started learning about everything. SIM card swaps, two-factor authentication on every one of your accounts, two-factor authentication on your phone, two-factor authentication on your email, because once they reset your once they get into your email, they get into
it's
everything.
Done. It's done. I wrote an article on Medium about what happened to me, my experience, and I think it's called "There's No Crying in Crypto." I think people should read it because, you know, I wish I would have seen that before this happened to me. And I think I definitely like laid out some good groundwork in order to like keep yourself safe. And, you know, everybody wants something for nothing. Right. And when you get into Bitcoin and crypto, like when I first opened my Coinbase account, they would not accept the picture and match it up. Cause you know, you have to do a picture like your ID and then
you got to give your soul away. Yeah.
Right. So it took me, I don't know, like 3 hours to get it to work. And I almost was like, you know what, F this, I'm not doing this. And I'm so glad that I didn't, because then, you know, I wouldn't be here right now. Right. A lot of people get frustrated with the process. You have to like go through the process. It's different than just like dropping your money in the bank and like walking away. I mean, you know, different, you know, Fidelity and different investment companies are starting to get into it. So then it will be like automated and you can like add it to your portfolio and stuff like that. But we haven't gotten there yet. And so like, if you want to be involved, you're going to have to do something. It's not just going to be like 1, 2, 3. I mean, of course you could just put it on Cash App and then, you know, forget about it or whatever. But if you want to move it or anything like that, then you have to, you know, take some time and read up on it a little bit. And I feel like if you invest in it, then that makes you more invested in the actual technology. And then you want to learn about it because it's like you're getting something from it. And, you know, people always say they don't have time, but you make time for the stuff that you're interested in. If you can watch Netflix and you can watch, you know, Housewives and you can, you know, do all of these things that are, you know, just vegging out, then you can learn something, you know? And I think that's something that we have to start put into the forefront, because, you know, you see all of these memes on Instagram and like social media, and they're like, you know, oh, you don't learn this in school, you don't learn that in school. And it's like, yeah, you don't learn it, but there's books. You know what I mean? There's YouTube. There's so many different ways for you. You don't have any reason. You have a computer in your hand almost the whole time you're awake. So if you're looking at BS instead of like information, that's your own fault. Like, you know, you can't expect other people to teach you how to get money. Why would they do that? You know, the advantage is then keeping you under and then over you. How are they going to teach you how they get what they get? Like, you're gonna have to learn it on your own, and it's not that hard. Like, we don't have to like break into something to get this information. Like, you have access to it. It's just like do a Google search.
I think the problem is that there's too much information out there. There's so like not like specifically for like cryptocurrency, because there's a lot of information out there as well. But I think there's just like waves and waves. Like, we're so constantly bombarded with new shows, what's going on in social media, hey, constantly getting notifications from your phone about whatever. Oh, here's this topic.
Places to spend your money. Like, your email is filled with every place you ever shop from in your whole life. They're sending you, oh, here, take free shipping. Oh, get 10% off. They like grabbing you. They want what you have, but you have to, you have to filter that out, and you have to, you know, focus. And there is a lot of information, and you can't know everything, but you got to like be like, okay, I want to learn how stocks work, or I want to learn, you know, retirement plans. I want to learn, you know, something, and then just focus your energy on that. And then it would be dope if it was like, while you were focusing on that, somebody else was focusing on something else, and then you guys come together and trade information. But you know, we not ready for that yet.
No, that's too early. That's too early. It's too soon. But so now we've got that. We're gonna get into some current event situations real quick. But there was one more thing that you did say. I actually read an article, and I don't know how would I put it, legit the article is, but I do remember reading it, and it says that women are actually better traders than men.
So yes, I screenshot that. I didn't get to watch it. I didn't get to read it yet, and I was like, that's interesting. You have to fill me in on what they were talking about, but I was like, that's interesting. I don't know because I don't know if they could say women in general, because everyone has like a different risk tolerance and like temperament. So, it's one thing to open up your portfolio and see like it in the red, and like, what it does to you physically. Like you get a reaction out of that. Like you might break into a sweat, or you feel like a knot in your chest or something like that. And you have to understand that it's an illusion. It's not real. You know what I mean? Like you didn't lose the money until you sell. So if you have, if you're in the red one day, you could wake up 2 days later and then, things have changed. So it's all about your risk tolerance. I'm not sure if I think women are better traders than men. I know we don't trade as often, that's not like our forte, but I have to read that article and see exactly what they're talking about. But it definitely caught my eye, because that is interesting.
I think one of the major points from that article was that as men, we get very egotistic. So we when it comes to trading, our egos get in the way of us trading in a bad trade. So when we take losses, we take harder losses, and then when we take and then when the price is going up, we try to extract the most out of it when we should be getting out. While women, they're a little more tactical with it. If it reaches like, most men try to like stop themselves, but women are just like, okay, this is what I said I was gonna do. Boom, done. And a little bit, women are a little more organized. So when they say that you're supposed to create like a trading chart and like work down, I don't know how many men are actually doing this, but I can see a woman every time. So
yeah, no, that definitely, that makes sense.
That's
not how I operate. I'm trying to get there. I think I operate more like a man in that respect, that I'm just like, because if I put it in there, you got to look at it as like gambling almost, because it's like, there's a chance for 100% loss. So you're not supposed to be messing with money that you actually need. So, you got to be in it to win it. And I hate to see something that like I sold too soon, and then the next, couple days is like tripled, and I'm like, I just have to like stop following it. I have to like take it off my watch list. Don't look at it anymore, because then I'll just be like, obsessing over it.
No, it's all good. So let's get into some current events. So one of the things you're saying when you were reaching around, doing these events, speaking and whatnot, a lot of it was ICOs, people pitching ICOs because there's startup companies and whatnot. So people don't know what ICOs, they were initial coin offerings. Essentially they're startup companies. You'd take some ETH, you'd send it to someone, they'd give you back this valueless token, and you'd sit and hope and wait it'll get listed on some exchange. Cross fingers, and once it does, then you sell it and whatnot. So now that ICO season is done, how do you feel about this DeFi season that's just I guess flourishing now a little bit, but it's really just getting started? Do you feel like it's almost the same gimmick in a sense, or do you feel like this is something that might actually survive a little bit longer?
You know what? To be honest, I've stayed away from all of those things. I've like become like almost like a Bitcoin maximalist, because in the beginning it was just like you were bombarded. It was so much, and it's like, oh, look at this coin, look at that coin, and then like I'm like, you know what? I need to just focus on, like, if I'm Bitcoin Bombshell, then I'm just worried about Bitcoin. I can't be bothered with all of this other nonsense. So I haven't really got into the DeFi and all of that stuff, because like I said, I'm trying to just stay focused on one thing, and that's it.
Okay, no, that makes 100. No, you're fine. Look, you're gone. No, how you gonna do me like that? How you gonna do me like that?
I gotta, keep you on your toes. No, my bad. I don't know what's going on with this phone.
No, but it's all good.
I was trying to ignore something, and then I end up answering the call by mistake.
Oh no, you're okay. But yes. I was gonna say, just going back to like the whole DeFi thing, that makes sense, because a lot of people, I got into it. I started like messing with it and whatnot. And hold on, I gotta make sure. Okay, yeah, we're back. But yeah, I started messing with it and I got into it, and it's a lot. It's a lot. Has
it been profitable?
Huh? No, I'm comfortable now. when I first started, because I've been in the crypto space for the past 3 years. Just a little, I forgot to say anything about, but my audience knows me already. But just a little background about myself. I started in 2017. I bought the top of 2017, like right after the CME futures, like literally the day after the CME futures. Like, yeah, so I literally bought the top. But that's my claim to fame.
And you're still here.
Yeah, no, that's my claim to fame, because I throughout the whole bear market, I just kept buying because I had an understanding of like the blockchain being a ledger, and coming from the accounting side, I was like, oh, I get this. This is pretty simple. Oh, no one can take it down? Say less. It's going to be here forever? Say less. I'm just going to keep buying more, because eventually it's going to have to come back up. And I'm going to sit on this. And that's exactly what I did. I sat on it. Now, was it easy? No. I had to go through a lot. But that was my claim to fame. Sat on it, and I'm still here today. But going back to the whole DeFi thing, it's a lot for people. If you have no understanding of like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general, I don't see people like getting into this. Like the way that ICOs were, it was almost a little bit easier, because all you had to do was just, have a wallet and send some Ethereum somewhere or whatever from your exchange, of course, because you're not using your own personal wallet to do this. But going back, just the whole DeFi thing. Now, setting it up is pretty easy, but understanding like what you're putting your money into, that it could completely evaporate one day if the developers are bad actors or anything like that. But the returns are almost, if not, they're comparable to the ICO season of like those kinds of returns, but not as much, because, as the space grew, more money that comes into the space, the harder it is to get those kinds of like returns, because the space is bigger, But I like it because of the fact that it's decentralized. So in the sense of like, there's no actual company behind it, but as more I get into it, I realize that there's still VC funds. There's still some kind of corporation behind it. It may not be physical, but there's definitely some kind of third party behind it. So
I gotta look into it. It's just like, it can be overwhelming because there's just so much going on. And, I have so many people coming at me, asking me, things. And I'm so like, okay, let me just focus on this right now. And when I have some downtime, it's just something else comes up. And
keep
exactly.
So what I usually tell people, just do the easiest thing and just dollar cost average. Cause, I'm not gonna lie, these past 3 years, I was not trading. I'm not a good trader. I realized that from the beginning. Like, I never wanted to trade. And so I was like, okay, statistics show that if I dollar cost average, I'll make more money than the people who are trading, because I'm gonna pay less taxes, and I'm probably gonna get out at the top more likely than they are, because I'll have a bigger risk tolerance. You know what I'm saying? And so, but that's what they were saying. So I was like, you know what? I got a full-time job, this and that. I'm not really into trading. I'll dollar cost average, and that strategy worked very well for me. So I'm always going to push the dollar cost averaging, and I'm always going to push to do your own research, because you shouldn't be putting your money in something you do not understand. That's for sure. Right. But no. So I wanted to get back to your cocktails and crypto. So are you still doing that? Like, what? Can you tell me more about that, cocktails and crypto? Like, what is it?
Okay, so Cocktails and Crypto is a series that I started because, like I said, I'm in the hospitality industry. So it kind of married my two passions, which was like events and then cryptocurrency. So because it was like a male-dominated industry, I wanted to create like an environment where women could come and learn about it in like a less aggressive space, because men can be very, just loud and make people feel, or I should say, make women feel, intimidated or whatever. So if I'm leading the conversation and they can come to me and ask me a question. Like, no question is a dumb question. A lot of the events that I would go to when it was just like men, the women wouldn't talk. They would just stand around and like, maybe they were there with their boyfriends or their husbands or whatever, but they were very like a silent part of the event. So this was somewhere that women could come, have a drink, and learn about the space. So that's what it was. I did it at a few different venues in the city because, since I was in the industry, I had a lot of people in my network, and they were always looking for different things to host. So I would go there, have some drinks and answer some questions and things like that. I did one in LA as well. And yeah, I haven't been doing it because pandemic, but I was thinking about doing something virtually. I have a workshop coming up, a virtual workshop coming up, something titled Everything You Wanted to Know About Bitcoin But Were Afraid to Ask. That's coming up January 5th, and it's the same sort of thing. It's going to be a Zoom webinar, and you can check that out on my website. And I'm just going to cover the basics, taxes, what's Bitcoin, how to get it, why you should have some, and different ways to earn it passively and things like that. Just because there's so many people that are contacting me asking me all of the same questions. Like, let's just answer all of these questions at one time. And also I do book a call, and talk to people one-on-one. So I was like, this is a chance. Like, if you feel intimidated, you want to talk to me like one-on-one, then, we can do like a huge Zoom thing and everybody can get on there, and I'll just hopefully answer everybody's questions at the same time.
You better than me. Look, look, I'm gonna put the information out there. I'm gonna make the videos. Ask me a question, I'm gonna make the video about the question you ask. But if you want my personal time, look.
You gotta pay for it.
Yeah,
like,
you gotta pay for it. Because this stuff, like, funny. You don't realize how busy this is.
The most random questions, or they'll ask you, you answer one question, and they follow up with 6 questions after that. I'm like, okay, listen. You know what you need to do? You need to book a call. Because I'm not gonna just, I'm not gonna go back and forth in the DM. This. So yeah, definitely. But that's coming up January 5th. And so we'll see how that goes. And then hopefully, if I need to do it monthly, I'll do it monthly. But it's funny because since Bitcoin has like gotten close to 20K, it's been ridiculous. Like people, my relatives, my friends, my people that I told about it years ago, and they acted like they got some. Now they like, oh girl, you got to tell me how to. I'm like, but I told you already. Like, what happened? Where was you at? You come to the events, like you like every post. Like, what are you doing?
I actually have a couple of friends that I give in Bitcoin to. Like, I actually man, hey, just take this. And it's not like much. Right. It's like $10, $20. Just hold on to it. Don't sell it. And I reached back out to him. You held on to it, right? Nah, man, that thing kept going down, but you got it for free. Like, I sent it to
like,
you.
what do you have to lose? Just hold on.
And they're like, man, that thing kept going down, so I sold it, bro. And I'm like, oh Lord.
At a loss? Like, what?
Of course. And then now I'm like, I will say one thing. I'm not getting as bombarded as I thought I'd be. I thought I'd like have the whole block coming to me like, Mackenzie, this, that. And I don't know if I may seem like intimidating or whatnot, but I don't know. I seem like I'm pretty nice. The do-rag is whatever.
Not to me. I don't feel intimidated.
Yeah, but I was surprised that I didn't get that much. Now, I think maybe because I'm a little newer, maybe because I don't have the big of a following. I think when the real top comes, when the end of the bull market happens, I think maybe that's when everything's really gonna muster and blow up, and I'll be super busy, and maybe I'll quit my job. We'll see.
Well, I involuntarily quit my job because, the pandemic, the restaurant business in New York City has been totally decimated by what's going on. So I was thankful that I had, my investments to fall back on, because otherwise I don't know how I would have survived all of these months. So yeah, no, it's been crazy. But like I said, I'm thankful, and I'm thankful for the time that I've had, because I've been able to develop, so many new ideas, because I've had to like figure stuff out. So
true. So now, just speaking about this, so going to the pandemic, did you expect Bitcoin to do what it did after the pandemic? Like,
you mean what you mean? Did I expect what's happening now to happen later, like when this is over? I really, I was surprised, because it happened kind of gradually. Like it was like hovering. It went from like, I think like 12 or 15,000, and then it kind of like shot up to 19 really quick, and then from 19 it hit like 24. I was like, okay, this is happening crazy. And whenever it happens, like nobody really knows. Like
no one.
We're hearing tons of like positive news, and all of these like, institutional investors getting involved, and, like hoarding it, and exactly hoarding it. But the results weren't happening. And then it was just like, boom, like, oh my God. Every time I'm turning around, I'm posting this Jay-Z meme with like the big pimpin'. Like, it's 10, it's 12, it's 15. I was like, this is crazy. I feel like every time I turn around, we're reaching a new, a new high. So everybody acts like they know what's gonna happen. Nobody knows.
Not a clue.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Like, we're feeling good now.
No, go ahead. I'll finish.
No, I said we're feeling good now. We can wake up tomorrow and then it'll like drop.
I'm broke again.
But for me, I'm fine. Like, give me an opportunity to get some more, because that's all I'm gonna do, because I know it's gonna go back up. So
yeah, I mean, eventually it'll go back up. But no, you're saying the Jay-Z meme, the Big Pimpin' video. I swear to God, I don't know I don't know why it's the Big Pimpin' video, but every time there's a new price, I'm scrolling down the thing, and the Big Pimpin' video at least once or twice, and I'm like, God, like why? But I don't know. Maybe it's because we're part of the community or whatnot. But sometimes I'm like, why are we like this? Like,
listen, I can guarantee you it was not one of us who came up with the Big Pimpin' meme. It is definitely probably some like super geeky,
somebody
white
behind
dude
the closed
that
door
came
or
up
whatnot.
with it. But I mean, we definitely identify with it. So no, it's just it's funny. It's like, in one of our like crypto inside jokes.
Right. So inflation. We could talk about inflation, but that's that's inflation. That's consistent. That's whatever. Money printer go burr. These $600 stimulus checks that ain't gonna do nothing for nobody. Cool. So then, I guess my real question is, what are your predictions for the next year? That's what I want to know. What, like, even you don't gotta give a low key. I want the price prediction, but you don't gotta give the price prediction. But me personally, I just feel like it doesn't matter what the price. Like, I've seen so many people call out ridiculous numbers. What was it? Was it Wells Fargo or JP Morgan? One of their analysts was talking about 400K, and I'm like,
yeah, I saw that.
What? Where are you coming with this number? And I swear to God, they pulling it out of nowhere. You
know what it is? Now that they have some skin in the game, they're not gonna let this fall off.
Nah, that's what it is. That now they like sell it to you at
coming,
a high price.
And it's like, okay, exactly. So the thing is, so they are hoarding it. So it's like they want you to have to get it from them. So of course they want the price to go up, because it's a better it's better for them. So I just think that
now we say them, we mean institutions, right? Banks, yes. All these, like, I just want to think, like, people, where do you think PayPal got their Bitcoin from? Like, do you think it just popped up overnight?
Right.
But
they were waiting for it to be mined, and then they just,
they just had it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's insane. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but I'm sure it's gonna hit 100K.
Yeah, that's a given. I think that's a given at this point.
I think it could we could even see it before the end of next year.
I'm scared. I feel like that. So maybe because I've only known down, I've never really seen up. I mean, we've seen up and down.
You got a little, a little wide on the wave right now.
So in my head, I'm like, this can't go up no more. Like, nah. I know what happens after this. Then it crashes for like 6 months and we go broke again. And then we're rich for like a month.
But you're never broke though. You only broke when you sell. So as long as you don't sell, you're not broke. But yeah, I think we could definitely see 100K by December of 2021. Because the only thing is the thing that I like about Bitcoin is that it's global. So it's not necessarily driven by whatever nonsense is going on in the United States. So, like the stock market, somebody says something, one company, whatever, and everything drops off, right? But now, Bitcoin is used everywhere. So unless something catastrophic happens, which we hope it does not, I definitely think 100K is possible by December. Because like I said, now that these major companies are involved, they're not trying to have this not be successful.
Look,
they're invested in it.
What is it?
When they were talking trash about it, it didn't matter.
Nah, it didn't.
But now they're invested in it. They're not trying to let it, drop. We might not even see like a real drop unless somebody else decides they want to buy some and then they, manipulate the market.
I was reading something about it, but I came up to the notion of now that we've broken the last high, now that we've broken 20K, now this isn't a bubble anymore. Now they can't say this is a bubble. Right. It's like tulips. No, because a bubble doesn't come back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now that everyone that called it a bubble, they're like, well, it wasn't a bubble. It was this, and that. It's still very, very risky, and you shouldn't, put anything into it. And then I feel like throughout this year, we're just gonna see more traditional institutions come out. Hey, you can buy Bitcoin in your this account, or hey, you can do it with that. And then it's just going to be a big competition between all these companies. Because what is it? Cash App just came out with their Bitcoin back.
Yeah, with the boost, you could get the Bitcoin rewards whenever you use their card.
Yeah, and I was just sitting like, oh wow, because there's another company, there's a Lolly company.
Lolly,
yeah, and so
I love Lolly.
All these amazing, but then I thought
Lolly.
to myself, dang, Cash App just kind of shitted on them with that.
They did, because Cash App already has the people already, and you're using Cash App for a bunch of different things. So, but the thing is, not a lot of people use that Cash App card. I don't know. Maybe they do. I
think younger people.
From my experience, they don't. Okay.
Yeah, younger people, because I know people my age. Yeah, people my age, it's sprinkled a little. I'm in my late 20s, early 30s. Yeah, I'm somewhere right there.
Right.
Yeah, I gotta say, because they watching. Look, next thing you know, they got my name, my address, my age.
Yeah.
They gonna get everything. I'm like, not today.
You just gotta be vague about stuff, and very deliberate about the way that you, even like me, talking to people, telling them what to do or whatever, what not to do. They have to be a little guarded.
Yeah, you gotta be a little guarded. Like I've had people try to send me like merchandise. And like, hey, I love your content. Let me send you this merchandise. And I'm like,
get you a P.O. box.
Get me a P.O. box.
Get you a P.O. box, because who don't love free stuff? But you don't need to know where I live.
You don't need to know where I live.
Send it to the P.O. box.
But yeah, back to the whole the companies are gonna be competing with each other. Lolly, Bitcoin back, all this, and I can see that keeping us above 20K for the next year. Like I said, I know nothing but down, and I know nothing but under 20K. So anything above 20K, I'm like, shit, we can do anything, dog. But
this is what you was waiting for, so you gotta put it in the universe.
What?
Speak it into existence.
Do you know how long I've been waiting for this? Do y'all know how much I gave up for this? Nah, I'm gonna ride this all the way through. But when it comes to me, 100K is definitely like a target. Like that's the target. You know what I'm saying? But I really don't know if it's coming next year, because so many people say that it's coming next year. It makes me think that's the opposite's gonna happen. That we're gonna be disappointed by its performance next year, because we were we finna have the roaring 20s all over again. We're gonna get rid of this pandemic. Ooh.
This money is gonna go. It's gonna be. We're gonna have a glorious summer. You gotta.
I gotta speak it into maybe because
put it out there.
I think it's the fear. I think it's because I've known nothing but down, and so I'm just like, it has to come back down. It has to. We have to suffer just a little bit more. It's not time yet, but
before the run.
And then now, and apparently it's time. So then, what is your next move from here? What do you got planned next?
Well, there's a few things that I'm working on. Nothing besides my workshop. Nothing that I'm gonna speak about just yet. But
secretive.
You know, you're gonna see. You're gonna see. You're definitely gonna see. I got some things cooking up.
Okay, that's great. Well then, where can everybody find you? Where can they get all your information? Where are all your different social medias and whatnot? Where can they get to you and contact you?
Okay, Bitcoin Bombshell on Instagram, BTC Bombshell on Twitter. Even though I'm not really active on Twitter, I just be like watching. But I'm there every now and then. I might say a little something. But I'm very active on Instagram, and I have a website, BitcoinBombshell.com. So that's where you can RSVP to my events. You can order your merch because I have my diversity merchandise. I mean, we didn't even talk about that. I started a whole line based off of the lack of diversity in the cryptocurrency space. So I made this t-shirt that said diversity on it because I was like, you claim that this is what you guys want. This is what it looks like. It looks like me and my wild hair and my brown face. And this is diversity, like in the flesh. So I started wearing it whenever I would go to these events. And, so then I just started, started making them. And because, diversity and inclusion is like the buzzword right now, especially with this whole, Black Lives Matter movement that's going on. So, I have the diversity line and you can find that on bitcoinbombshell.com. And yeah, everything is basically bitcoinbombshell.com. You want to find me, type that in. There I go.
All right, bet. Well, thank you so much, Shauna. Thank you. Did I say Shauna? It is Shauna, right?
You got it right. It is Shauna. It's nobody. Everybody always messes it up. Thank goodness for your ex-girlfriend.
What? Because I'm like, Jesus, I'd have been wrong. But thank you, Shauna, so much for coming onto my channel. We really do appreciate it. Other than that, guys, y'all know where to find her. She gave you the information. Let me know in the comments. Are you going to go reach out to her? Are you a Black woman? Did you find this? Did you find this insightful? Let me know in the comments. But other than that, check me out next time. Take it easy.